Have you ever noticed how a first date and a high-end dessert feel strangely similar? That initial rush, the racing heart, the way you can't seem to think about anything else for the rest of the night? It turns out that's not just a poetic coincidence. Your brain might actually be processing a romantic text message and a spoonful of sugar through the exact same hardware. Today, we're peeling back the layers of human biology to ask a fairly provocative question. Is our modern struggle with loneliness, emotional eating, and digital addiction actually just one big reward system glitch? We're diving deep into the science of attachment, the hidden cost of the dopamine economy, and why your nervous system might be starving for connection in a world that's overflowing with stimulation.
It's a fascinating place to start because we often treat our emotions and our physical health as if they live in different zip codes. We think of love as this ethereal, soulful thing and metabolism as just some chemical math involving calories. But the brain doesn't see it that way. To the brain, survival is the only currency that matters. Whether it's finding a high-energy food source like sugar or finding a reliable partner for protection, the brain uses the same ancient reward circuitry to make sure you keep chasing those things. We are essentially walking around with biological software designed for the Stone Age, trying to navigate a world of infinite candy and infinite scrolling.
That biological software idea is interesting. You mentioned the reward system. Most people have heard of dopamine, usually labeled as the pleasure chemical, but I've heard you argue that's actually a bit of a misunderstanding. If it's not just about pleasure, what is dopamine actually doing when we're falling in love? Or, say, staring at a box of donuts?
You're absolutely right. Calling dopamine a pleasure chemical is like calling an engine a destination machine. It's not the destination, it's the fuel that gets you there. Dopamine is about motivation, anticipation, and craving. It's the I want that chemical, not the I like this chemical. When you see someone you're attracted to or you smell fresh bread, your brain releases dopamine to say, pay attention, this is important for survival, go get it. It creates a state of high alert focus. This is why early romance feels so much like an addiction. You're obsessive, you're energized, and you're constantly seeking that next hit of interaction. Brain scans of people in the early stages of intense love actually show activity in the same regions that light up in response to certain substances. The brain has essentially hijacked itself to ensure you stay bonded to that person.
So, if I'm understanding this correctly, the brain is essentially using the same carrot-on-a-stick method for both a romantic partner and a snack. But why sugar specifically? Why is that the go-to metaphor and the go-to comfort food when the love part of the equation goes sideways?
It's all about the efficiency of the reward. In the wild, sugar was rare, think ripe fruit or honey. It was a massive energy win. So, our brains evolved to give us a huge hit of reinforcement when we found it. Fast forward to today, when we feel socially rejected or lonely, our connection reward system feels a deficit. The brain experiences this as a threat to survival because, historically, being alone meant you were vulnerable. To fix that pain, the brain looks for the fastest available reward to self-medicate. A pint of ice cream or a sugary latte provides a massive immediate dopamine spike that temporarily masks the emotional ache of being disconnected. It's a biological band-aid for a social wound.
That explains so much about emotional eating. It's not just a lack of willpower, it's a nervous system trying to balance its own books. But let's talk about the other side of the coin, the love hormone, oxytocin. We hear about it in the context of hugging or breastfeeding, but how does it balance out that frantic dopamine craving?
Think of dopamine as the gas pedal and oxytocin as the warm hearth. While dopamine is about the chase, oxytocin is about the bond. It's released through physical touch, eye contact, and deep, meaningful conversation. It's the chemical of safety and trust. When oxytocin levels are healthy, it actually has a calming effect on the brain's stress centers. It lowers cortisol and can even dampen the intensity of dopamine-driven cravings. This is why, when you're in a truly secure, loving relationship or a supportive community, you might find you don't actually need those external stimulants as much. You're biologically regulated from the inside out.
But here's the problem. We live in a world that seems designed to disrupt that regulation. We have likes on social media, which feel like social connection but are actually just tiny dopamine drops. We're hyper-connected digitally, yet people report feeling lonelier than ever. Are we essentially feeding our brains digital junk food?
That is a perfect way to put it. Digital interaction is often hollow connection. It triggers the dopamine response, the notification, the red dot, the scroll, but it rarely triggers the oxytocin response because there's no physical presence, no shared energy, no mirroring of nervous systems. We are overstimulated and undernourished. It's like eating a diet of nothing but celery. You're chewing a lot, but you're starving to death. This chronic state of hyperconnected loneliness keeps our stress hormones high, which, as we discussed, makes us crave more sugar and more digital distraction. It's a vicious cycle that eventually leads to burnout and metabolic issues.
I want to dig into that metabolic connection. It's wild to think that my relationship status or my social life could actually be affecting my insulin sensitivity or my weight. How deep does that link go?
It's incredibly deep. We have to stop thinking of the mind and body as separate. They are one continuous feedback loop. When you are chronically lonely or stressed by a lack of connection, your body stays in a sympathetic state, fight or flight. This raises cortisol. High cortisol tells your body to dump glucose into the bloodstream for quick energy and to store fat around the middle for emergencies. It also makes you less sensitive to leptin, the hormone that tells you you're full. So, a broken heart or a lonely lifestyle isn't just a sad thing, it's a physiological state that actively undermines your metabolic health. You can't diet your way out of a nervous system that feels unsafe.
That's a powerful realization. It suggests that the future of wellness isn't just about better gym equipment or more wearable tech. Though those help, it's about reclaiming our biological need for each other. But what happens when that connection is ripped away? We've all felt the pain of a breakup, but why does it feel so physical? Like, why does your chest actually ache?
Because the brain uses the same pathways to process emotional pain as it does physical pain, if you burn your hand on a stove, the anterior cingulate cortex lights up. If you get dumped or excluded from a social group, that same area lights up. From an evolutionary standpoint, social rejection was just as dangerous as a physical wound. Heartbreak is, quite literally, a form of withdrawal. If love is a natural addiction, a bonding to a specific person for survival, then losing that person is like a cold turkey detox. Your dopamine drops, your stress hormones skyrocket, and your brain goes into a panic mode trying to find the lost reward. This is why people stalk their exes on social media. They are trying to get one last hit of the drug to stop the pain.
It sounds like we're all just sophisticated biochemical puppets. But surely there's a way to take the strings back. If someone feels caught in this trap, overstimulated by the digital world, craving sugar to cope with stress, feeling disconnected, where do they even start to rebalance?
It starts with nervous system hygiene. We have to recognize that our biology needs slow rewards, not just fast ones. Fast rewards are sugar, social media, and impulsive shopping. Slow rewards are a 2-0-minute walk in sunlight, a deep conversation with a friend where you both leave your phones in another room, or a consistent sleep schedule. These things don't give you that zap of dopamine, but they build a foundation of oxytocin and serotonin. We also have to be honest about our environment. If your kitchen is full of fast rewards and your bedroom is full of screens, your ancient brain doesn't stand a chance. You have to design your life to protect your nervous system from the constant sugarcoating of modern reality.
I love that phrase, nervous system hygiene. It feels like we're moving toward a more holistic understanding of health, where your social battery and your metabolic health are treated as the same thing. Looking ahead, do you think we're going to see a shift in how we approach medicine and wellness because of this?
I really do. I think the next frontier of health isn't a new pill, it's social prescribing. We're already seeing doctors in some parts of the world prescribe community gardening or group classes for depression and metabolic syndrome. We're starting to use wearables not just to count steps, but to track heart rate variability, HRV, which is a direct window into how stressed or safe our nervous system feels. The goal is to move from a state of constant stimulation to a state of resilient recovery. We need to teach people how to downregulate, how to tell their brains, you are safe, you are connected, and you don't need a hit of sugar to survive this moment.
It's a bit of a paradox, isn't it? We've built a world that gives us everything we thought we wanted. Instant food, instant information, instant connection. And yet our biology is screaming for the things we've left behind. It's like we've built a giant candy store and we're wondering why we all have a collective stomachache.
Exactly. And the stomachache is manifesting as the modern epidemic of anxiety and metabolic disease. But the good news is that our biology is incredibly plastic. It wants to heal. The moment you give the brain real, high-quality connection, the moment you prioritize sleep and genuine presence, the reward systems begin to recalibrate. You start to find sweetness in things that aren't literal sugar. You start to find connection in things that aren't literal likes.
This conversation has really shifted how I think about that late-night craving, or that urge to check my phone for the 100th time. It's not a character flaw, it's a signal. My brain is just looking for love in the ways it knows how.
Precisely. Don't judge the signal, just change the response. If you're craving sugar, ask yourself if you're actually just lonely or tired. If you're obsessing over a like, ask yourself when the last time was you had a real, face-to-face laugh with someone. Your body is always talking to you. We've just forgotten the language.
That feels like the perfect place to wrap this up. We've covered everything from the dopamine chase to why heartbreak feels like a physical wound, and how sugar acts as a biological surrogate for the love we're missing. It's a lot to process, but it's also incredibly empowering. It means that by changing how we connect, we can literally change our chemistry.
It's the ultimate biohack, and it's been available to us for 1,000,000 years. We just have to be brave enough to put down the sugar and reach for the real thing.
Thank you for walking us through this. It's been an eye-opening look at the hidden systems that drive our every move. To everyone listening, maybe today is the day you trade a fast reward for a slow one. Call a friend, take a walk, or just sit in the quiet for a moment and let your nervous system catch its breath. Your brain and your metabolism will thank you for it. We'll see you in the next episode, where we'll continue to explore the fascinating, hidden science that makes us human. Until then, stay curious and stay connected. The real kind.